Hey guys, you might have noticed my incredibly crappy hairstyle today. Yeah, let's just pretend like the marsupial that took a nap on my head is pretty. Oh, that was terrible. That was a terrible intro. That was really, really bad. So today, I want to talk about a rant of mine, actually, personally. And it's very recent. Very incredibly recent, actually. The thing that actually made me want to rant in the first place actually happened just this morning. So it's fresh in my mind, and it's really, really ludicrous. Really, I'd like to know your all's responses to this. What you all think about it? Yeah, what you all would do in my place. So hear me out and talk to me. Right. So I just last night I met a new friend on the Thinking Atheist Facebook page, and he seemed like a pretty cool guy, so I added him, and we were having a little bit of a chat. He heard me on the Thinking Atheist podcast recently. I called in. It was a coming out experience podcast, so I went on there and shared my experience. Hopefully, I might have inspired somebody. Again, hopefully, I might have inspired somebody to get the courage to come out themselves. But we were talking about that when suddenly, completely out of the blue, my mom comes out of nowhere and posts a rather offensive verse. Let me get up this Bible verse up here. She posts, "The wrath of God is being revealed from heaven against all the godlessness and wickedness of men who suppress the truth by their wickedness, since what may be known about God is plain to them, because God has made it plain to them. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that men are without excuse. For although they knew God, they neither glorified him as God, nor gave thanks to him, but their thinking became futile, and their foolish hearts were darkened." Now, obviously, I was pretty offended by this post, but knowing my family posts these kinds of things quite frequently, actually. So knowing my family, I kind of let it slide. My friend, on the other hand, didn't take entirely too kindly to it, and he replied in definitely not a friendly manner, I would say, but it wasn't hostile. Things eventually continued along, and they came across a video that he had posted on his Facebook page. Now, once again, this was his Facebook page, okay, guys? He posted this video on his, and they're not even friends of his. But I don't even know if I commented on it, but I at least thumbs up, liked it, kind of thing. And they commented on it. It was a recent one with Prof MTF. His the one about Jesus Christ and the Passover not being relevant to one another. Well, maybe to one another, but not to the past at all. But anyway, they saw that, and they got in this big discussion, argument, kind of thing. Throughout, a bunch of Bible verses were posted, and obviously, my friend here was getting frustrated by it, which is completely understandable. Whenever people that you don't know come on your page, without having friend requests or anything, just come on your page and start railing on the stuff you post. So, yeah, that happened, and he got frustrated, and through it, he wound up calling my mom a name, and it was, that terrible name is moron. And, that's not friendly. It's offensive, sure. However, please keep in mind the Bible verse my mom posted as a hello to this guy, which essentially called him, and me, fools who are completely rejecting the truth that is self-evident, because of our wickedness, and because we love our wickedness, and we just don't want to accept that God is God and real, which is completely crazy in its own right. I mean, that's one of the Bible verses that shows how demonstrably wrong the Bible is in itself. So my brother posted on my wall, saying, "Look what your great friend said," and he took the "you're a moron" out of context, and he posted it on there in the quotes. and gave a link to it. He gave the link to it. I'll give him that much credit. Definitely, he gave the link to it, so that I could read the entire conversation. I read the conversation, and it was really unnecessary of my family to go on there and antagonize this my new friend, without knowing him at all, without speaking with him at all first, and just automatically going on there and talking about how he's a godless, wicked, a fool. And then here's the fun part. My family is completely and totally upset and playing the offensive card because he called them a moron after they threatened him indirectly, okay? I'm saying indirectly with hellfire and calling him a wicked, godless fool. And apparently moron is a much higher offense than threatening someone with eternal damnation and torture in a fiery furnace of hell that never ends. Never. For the rest of eternity. No chance of redemption whatsoever. I don't really see the logic behind that, but apparently my family does, and the vast majority of my family, I'm talking extended relatives. Immediately afterwards, I posted something on my own Facebook wall, which was basically saying, wow, I can't believe that this just happened. I can't believe that my family's going all off on this guy because they called my mom a moron after she called him a godless, wicked fool that deserves hell. As a hello. Which, I am 110,000 billion % fine with my parents having this belief. That's what they believe. That's fine. That's for them. And First Amendment right, they have every right. They have 100% right to come on my wall and say, hey, guess what, Levi Times, you're going to freaking hell and I'm going to heaven and I won't even think about you. And that's, according to the Bible, there you go. That's your belief. That's yours. I don't have... I have my opinions on that. But saying that, and then whenever somebody expresses a different opinion, and because you have a different opinion, that different opinion is offensive. That doesn't make any sense. You can say something offensive if you want, but when you say something offensive, you better get ready for something offensive to get thrown back at you. And, expecting anything otherwise, that's just stupid. It really is just stupid. I don't see the logic in doing something completely offensive, saying something completely offensive, and expecting the person in return to kind of just sit there and be like, yeah, okay, cool. No, that's not the way the world works. And I'm involved in 2 different atheist forums, and even amongst ourselves, which that can apply to any 2 people, really, no matter which organization or which set of beliefs or unbeliefs you have. Anyway, against any 2 people, you're going to have your disagreements. You have these disagreements and these different... I'll say offensive, okay? These different offenses that come up, especially one heated discussion in an atheist forum I'm involved in right now is an abortion discussion, and a lot of Christians especially have the preconception that atheists are all pro-choice, which couldn't be farther from the truth. I'd say that atheists are just as divided on the issue as everybody else. In fact, I've noticed more, I'm going to say this honestly, in the atheistic forum I'm involved in, I've noticed more pro-life people than I have pro-choice. Many of them don't subscribe to the pro-life name, but they have pro-life ideals, essentially. But that's an example of a heated discussion that we have, and offenses get cast from one side to the other. Now, when this happens, one side isn't declared the, oh my gosh, I'm right, how dare you offend me, I can offend you as much as I want, but you're not allowed to offend me. And that doesn't make any sense. Logically, that makes absolutely no sense, so why would you apply it to anywhere else? Now, I'm still awaiting any form of apology from my family. They pretty well refuse to apologize for harassment. Really, it's rightful harassment. They definitely have the right to their opinion. I still haven't received any form of apology from my family for their overreaction to the small amount of offense that they received back, compared to the amount of offense that they threw at us. And I mean, that doesn't make any sense. If they have integrity like they say, and if they're not as selfish as they claim that we are as atheists, then why the hell is it not easy for them to apologize? Why the hell, if they are not arrogant and not prideful compared to us, would they not be prone to humiliate themselves, essentially, like I have? I've made a public, just recently, I think just last week, I made a public apology for something that I accidentally posted in my family's news feed. That was it was really offensive, and I made a public, humiliating apology. Yet, even though I, as an atheist, understand that this is just something I have to do sometimes, because, I mean, I'm not the type of person that likes to offend people. I can do this as an atheist, but they can't do it, even though they're supposedly less prideful, less arrogant, and more humble than atheists. And that just doesn't make any sense at all.